Now to find out how good these turtles really are.
Hello and welcome back to the 80s Toy Museum. It may be hard to imagine now, but before this toy line and cartoon existed, turtles weren't exactly considered fun and cute.
Turtles are smelly and disgusting.
Some people even ate them.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
But that all changed thanks to the heroes in a half shell.
They're like totally rad, man.
Yeah, I want to be a turtle when I grow up.
Taking a look at one of the most massively successful toy lines of the 80s.
But who are they? Where did they come from? It's a complete mystery.
Not for long, it's the last hurrah of 80s greatness. Welcome to the radical, far out, totally awesome history of
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
1988 edition.
Yeah, humans don't know nothing when it comes to turtles.
Au contraire, the humans at tmnt Wiki have a wealth of turtles information. Be sure to check out their website for more turtles history on every incarnation through the years.
And away we go!
For those who didn't live it, it can't be fully conveyed just how utterly awesome the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were in 1987. Even though the fun 80s were winding down, the Turtles supercharged the colorful, carefree vibe of the decade with an unprecedented level of witty comedy, thanks in part to breaking the fourth wall, a whole decade before Deadpool started doing it.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes in a ninja pizza parlor. I love saying lines like that.
Even the name was hilarious. With so many toy line names before it containing only one or two words like Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, and Sectars, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sounded initially absurd, but didn't take long to just roll off the tongue.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There's one thing the Turtles didn't joke around about, though.
Don't you guys take anything seriously?
Of course we do.
Like what?
4 years before Playmates released the heroes in a half shell in toy stores and toy sections of department stores, before the massive rabbit hole, or turtle hole, of toys, video games, movies, and television shows, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird created the fierce foursome of ninjas in 1984.
Ninjas, a 1,000-year-old clan of assassins.
Ninjas were a big thing in pop culture by the end of the 80s.
Well, yeah, but were they turtles?
And while it may seem as though the cartoon and toy line was following the ninja fad started by G.I. Joe and other 80s toy lines,
Ninja dry cleaners?
Ninja shoe repairs?
Ninja video rentals?
Ninja dentist? Ow!
the comic Ninja Turtles debuted in the same year as Storm Shadow, and a year before Snake Eyes got his ninja outfit and sword. Released under Eastman and Laird's Mirage Studios, the comic was a satire of superhero comics of the time, despite its dark and gritty art.
Who are these mystery turtles? Could they be aliens from another planet?
Nope, these radical reptiles were homegrown. While not officially part of the Marvel comic universe, unofficially, the same toxic ooze that gave Matt Murdock his Daredevil superpowers poured down through a sewer grate and mutated the four turtles. Unlike the heightened senses that Daredevil was gifted by his ooze, the turtles' mutagen caused anything that came in contact with it to become a hybrid.
It caused whoever touched it to take on the form of whatever animal they had most recently been in contact with.
Another tip of the hat to Marvel is the gang of ninjas they do battle with. In Marvel, Daredevil's arch rivals were the ninja clan, the Hand. For the Turtles, it was the Foot.
Let's rock!
Even Master Splinter is an homage to Daredevil's master, Stick.
My 4 young wards nicknamed me Splinter, for obvious reasons.
The comic gained enough popularity to grab the attention of toy maker Playmates. But Playmates wasn't interested in doing toys for just a comic.
Well, that's kind of a defeatist attitude, don't you think?
They insisted on an animated series created to accompany the toy line. Murakami Wolf Swenson Animation Studio created a 5-parter which aired in December of '87 and January of '88.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
And was a resounding success, despite the changes from the comic. Or perhaps because of the changes. Playmates worked with the studio to redefine the title characters, In the comics, they all had worn red gear, but in the series and toys, they wore different colors. They also gained their insatiable appetite for pizza.
Pizza time!
Albeit with some unique choices for toppings.
Who had the pepperoni and ice cream?
Yeah, I want some of the jelly beans and mushrooms.
Yeah, give me a slice of anchovies and peanut butter.
This is seriously grossing me out.
And a new catchphrase for one of them. Who used his new catchphrase every chance he got.
Oh, you bet your sweet shell I did!
Much to the chagrin of Buffalo Bob from the Howdy Doody Show, who sued claiming ownership of the word. The case was ultimately dismissed. The individual personalities of each turtle also originated with the series. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines. Raphael is cool, but rude. Some even think crude. And Michelangelo is a party dude. The tone was lightened considerably from the original comic and made less violent.
We turtles don't know the meaning of the word defeat. That's right! We never bothered to look it up in the dictionary.
The villains were made more comical.
I know that, you idiots.
And the swearing was dropped. Some countries, like the UK, took the sanitization a step further and changed the word ninja to hero, to distance the brand from the ancient assassins. Despite having individual titles, instead of being labeled Part 1, Part 2, etc., the 5 episodes are directly connected, leading into each other, unlike many of the later standalone episodes. Rather than jumping into the story like He-Man and G.I. Joe, the 5-parter is a full origin story, featuring all of the figures and most of the vehicles that would be released the following year. A perfect blend of cool and comedy, coupled with one of the catchiest theme songs of any animated series ever. The show served as a perfect commercial for the Playmates toy line released in the summer of 1988, the first of many Turtles toys that would be sold for years to come. From 88 to 92 alone, the line sold $1.1 billion in toys, making it the 3rd highest selling toy line of that era behind G.I. Joe and Star Wars. The show had been so well received, Playmates didn't feel the need to test the waters. They burst onto the scene with 10 carded figures, 5 vehicles, and 3 accessory packs.
It's the Turtles!
This guy's sharp as a bowling ball, isn't he?
To keep the laughs coming, the vehicles came packaged with a joke book, and all of the toys came with, no, not flag points or robot points, but pizza points, which could be clipped and sent in for Turtles merch. The sides were pretty evenly matched in 88 with 6 heroes and 4 villains. For the good guys, there were the 4 Ninja Turtles. Eastman and Laird had originally considered giving them Japanese names, but ultimately decided that Italian Renaissance artists would fit the quirky tone better. Taking a page out of Mattel's book with Masters of the Universe, Playmates reused parts between the 4 Turtles figures to cut costs, although disguised the reuse by giving the Turtles different shades of green, as well as different expressions and foot poses. The original 4 Turtles would be reissued many times over the following years, and literally hang from the pegs right now. But the main difference between the reissues and the originals is that the original line featured soft heads made of rubber, the cheaper option at the time employed by Playmates in case the line wasn't as successful as they hoped. The heads were switched to hard plastic afterwards. In addition to their signature weapons, each turtle included 2 different types of daggers, a pair of throwing stars, and a kama, a scythe-like weapon based on a farming tool. All of the weapons were attached to a weapons rack, or sprue.
I hate spoo!
No, not spoo. Sprue, in the style of G.I. Joe or Transformers accessories. These extras were included with all 4 of the Turtles.
Leonardo, his swordsmanship is unmatched.
The Turtles were led by the quick-thinking Leonardo, clad in a blue mask, elbow and knee pads.
So, like, what do we do? You and Raphael cut around to either side. Donatello, try to get to their rear.
Each turtle was assigned a weapon by Master Splinter that seems to be the least fitting for their personality, as a way to encourage growth. Leonardo, the gentlest of the 4, was given a pair of lethal katana blades.
Got the card, Slim.
Blades so sharp that they didn't just cut through wood, but steel as well.
Taste cold steel!
Leo included a removable belt with straps that could hold his swords, personalized with the letter L on the buckle. The most fragile part of the turtle figure belts, the pegs holding these straps closed would tear or break off with too much use.
Donatello, whose simple wooden bow can disarm any adversary.
Next was the tech expert of the team, the brilliant idea man, or idea turtle, Donatello.
Whose bright idea was this, anyway? Yours! Well, you don't have to rub it in.
Not a great memory, though. He wore a purple mask, elbow, and knee pads.
Show him some moves, Donatello!
Since he was so passionate about working with machinery and electronics, he was given a stick. The simple bow staff to nurture his patience and appreciation for uncomplicated things. Even though he only used one bow staff on the show, the Donatello figure included 2 of them. It could be used to whack opponents or as a projectile.
We still got days.
But not for long.
Hey!
His belt had 2 straps like Leonardo's, but could only hold one of his bow staffs. This is one of the most fragile parts of any of the Turtles' gear, far too thin to hold the large staff, and often tearing when removing the weapon. His buckle had a D on it, and despite being trained in the ancient ninja arts, Donnie wasn't above using more modern weaponry. Bomb not included.
Raphael, no sword on earth can withstand his sai.
Raphael was the only flat-footed turtle of the 4. Ironic, since he did a great impression of a guy who hated flat-foots. Big Boss from Cops.
Yeah, some dirty rat must have squealed to the coppers about us. Yeah.
He wore a red mask, elbow, and knee pads, like they all did in the original comic. The sarcastic, smarmy, wisecracking turtle. Could he be more like Chandler Bing?
Of course, if anything goes wrong, we'll all be radiated to a crisp.
Oh, swell. I wanted to work on my tan.
The one with a temper who's most comfortable going on the attack.
Get out of my face!
He was given a pair of sai, a short-range weapon effective for defensive parry and capture of other weapons.
Hey, watch you with that thing, pal!
As well as for attack. And I better mention his intangible weapon, more deadly than the sai or his other included weapons.
You'd better, or else I'm gonna get sarcastic.
His razor-sharp sarcasm, which could slice through any numbskulled minion of Shredder.
Didn't I see you in the Jungle Book?
Unlike Leo and Don, Raph's belt didn't include shoulder straps. It had sheaths for each sai at the front, although it was a bit of a tight fit, and storing them would contribute to the somewhat fragile blades on the sai breaking at the hilt. The buckle had an R on it, and although it was never featured on the show, the belt had an extra sheath on the back for one of the daggers.
Michelangelo, master of the whirling nunchakus.
And master of the whirling pizzas.
And finally, Michelangelo, the life of the party.
Let's show them the turtles know how to party!
Time to get down!
Super suave, man.
He wore an orange mask, elbow, and knee pads. Being somewhat scatterbrained,
Yeah, like what he said.
he's equipped with a pair of nunchucks.
Get funky!
A very painful weapon for the wielder if they aren't completely focused while using them.
Michelangelo, don't lose your patience.
Mike's belt featured an M on the buckle, and like Raph, had no shoulder straps. The nunchucks could be stored on his back, but because the line connecting the handles had to be bent to store them, this contributed to breakage at the connection point. One trick to not bend them as much is to alternate the handles in staggered fashion like this.
And their pet rat?
They were joined by their master, Splinter, a giant mutated rat that included a soft goods robe and a belt. He didn't see the need for a personalized belt buckle. Originally a human,
Hamato Yoshi was their Shidoshi, teacher of the warrior ways of enlightenment.
he was framed by Shredder and cast out of his ninja clan.
What say you, all-wise sensei? Oh, okay. I say, throw the bomb out!
The same ooze that mutated the turtles also mutated Yoshi into his giant rat-like form, but he retained his wisdom.
You can never win. Gentle always turns away strong.
His accessories were a bow and arrow, throwing stars, and a cane to help him walk.
Master Splinter's walking stick.
He's never without it.
as well as fight. There was a concealed blade inside. Splinter's backstory differs between the comic and the cartoon. In the original comic, he's the pet rat of ninja Hamato Yoshi, who's murdered by another ninja named Oroku Saki. The same ooze that mutates the turtles also mutates Splinter. In the cartoon, however, Splinter is Hamato Yoshi, and the mutagen transforms him from a human into a giant biped rat. He's the guiding light of the turtles, more there for moral support than action. And finally for the heroes was their roving reporter pal.
April O'Neil, Happy Hour News.
Nothing got past this perceptive press sleuth.
You're not human!
Bingo. Yeah, we're dealing with a real mind here.
The original release of the figure had no stripes on the arm and leg of the jumpsuit, but a running change was made to include a blue stripe, making the original version more rare. And her accessories?
And what does all that equipment do?
I have absolutely no idea.
She included a wireless microphone, a briefcase computer.
The camera! Get to the camera!
Yes, a camera to capture all the action when the evil Shredder attacks, and a few weapons for self-defense.
We're the news media, for crying out loud. Who'd want to hurt us?
A throwing star and a gun? I guess April isn't the only one who's heard the expression, "Don't bring a knife to a gunfight."
You know women.
No, we don't. She's the first one we ever met.
By the way, anyone else notice the similarity to another female reporter whose name starts with an A that hangs around with a quartet of vigilantes?
The A-Team. Isn't that what he called them?
That drive around in a van?
I'm sufficiently intrigued.
The Turtles went up against a quartet of bad guys in their initial year.
Whoa, who's the dude with the metal face?
Led by Hamato Yoshi's arch-rival, Oroku Saki.
But you may call me the Shredder.
A kitchen utensil?
Of all of the initial Playmates Turtles figures, this is the one I can't stand. Literally, he's very hard to balance because of his pose. Like his counterpart, Splinter, Shredder had a soft goods cape, a belt to secure it to his body, a sword, and the same extra weapons that all the Turtles came with. He also had spiked armor on his shins, wrists, and shoulders.
You must first face my blades.
One of the shortest figures, but only because of his squatting stance.
I have my own mutants. Bebop, rock steady.
That's right, Shredder had a pair of henchmen that initial year.
Just what we needed. Company.
Just what you're gonna get. A pounding.
Bebop was a street punk mutated with a warthog. This cretin would fit in perfect with the Dreadnoks.
We don't even know what cretins means.
Neither do they. He included a drill, garbage can lid, which he used as a shield, and a knife. With his brute force, anything big and heavy was a weapon. And his cohort was the army gear-clad Rocksteady, the mutant rhino.
Say your prayers, Turtles.
He included a manhole cover shield, knife.
Why would you be carrying a knife like this?
Hunting.
Removable belt, and when he wanted to do more damage than just pounding on the Turtles, he had a machine gun.
Oh, did I hurt yous? This'll make it better.
Well, the boy likes his work.
They may have been powerful.
Jump for it!
You idiots.
The mutation didn't up their IQs any.
But they weren't much of a threat intellectually speaking.
Dumb, dumb, dumb! Those dudes are so dumb!
And the army builder for 88 was the Foot Soldier. He included a turtle shell biter, an electro shock mace, and a knife.
Clang? Did you say clang?
Yep, like bats and horde troopers, these robots gave the Turtles an unorthodox style to fight against.
Yeah, we were trained to fight people, not can openers.
But also allowed for some serious tuchus kicking to take place on the show without any actual casualties or injuries.
Check those dudes out!
Dudes, nuts, they're robots!
And if you're wondering about the other leader of the villains...
It was this humongous brain! And it had a mouth and eyes, and it talked to me!
He was released in the following year in '89. I'll get to him next time. 5 vehicles were released in the initial year.
Let's rev this baby up and motivate! Pizza time!
The Party Wagon was the Turtles' fast and furious ride.
Wasn't that the name of a movie? I don't believe I saw it.
And had a number of play features.
I put every weapon I could think of on this crate. All the surveillance gear I could find. This is as good as it gets.
A flip-up armored shield, not unlike something the A-Team would do to one of their vehicles. Machine guns.
What?
An opening roof to access the cargo area in the back.
Activate turtle launcher!
Cowabunga!
A swing-out gunner seat.
In hot lanterns!
That doubled as a foot tenderizer. And deployable bombs.
All this gear, and you left out the pizza oven!
If only one of the Turtles knew how to drive.
Gee, Michelangelo, I didn't know you could drive.
Oh, I can't! Cowabunga!
It wasn't the biggest vehicle released in '88, though.
Holy guacamole!
The Turtle Blimp, when fully inflated, measured 30 inches long.
Welcome aboard the Turtle Blimp.
Does this thing actually work?
It not only boasted an impressive arsenal of machine guns,
Cowabunga!
bombs, and torpedoes, but acted as a troop transport too, able to carry all 4 turtles at once. The glider could detach from the blimp itself and become, well, a glider.
Take the controls!
What controls?
Raphael, can't you drive this thing?
No!
I can't either!
Yeah, I guessed that!
Capable of ninja stealth landings to sneak the turtles behind enemy lines.
Real smooth landing, Leonardo.
And how to deploy from the blimp while it's still airborne without deploying the glider? With Turtle Trooper parachutes.
Better put on our Turtle Trooper shoot packs.
The chute was attached to an armored backpack with helmet and flip-up visor. The speed fins let it get some forward motion instead of just dropping straight down. In theory. The chute itself was quite large, opening up to 22 inches in width. And the final turtle vehicle, a smaller offering than the van or blimp, was the aptly named Cheapskate. A super-powered sewer skateboard for thrill-seeking turtle teens.
Man, this cheapskate is totally awesome!
Next time you bring up the rear!
It had a foot-kicking foot, a searchlight, a muck blower, and a sewer cover shield for the rider.
What's that thing?
I'm hoping it's a piece of modern art, but somehow I doubt it.
And the Foot Clan received one vehicle in the initial year, the Knucklehead.
Come, my robot beast, I have a job for you.
This hand gave the Foot a big hand when battling the turtles with its giant grabbing claw.
What's going on?
Step into my parlor, said the Knucklehead to the fly.
And the final 3 releases were released in the Gags, Jokes, and Crazy Weapons category. The Razzer set included a Call Razzer, eggs, a shield, sewer cover flyer, a sewer stopper, a gas mask, and a sewer searchlight. There was a Disappearing Ink set that included a retro mutagen squirter, garbage can shield, pizza flyer, slingshot, and communicator. And the Squirting Ring set included a turtle squirt ring, sewer cover shield, pie flyer, boombox radar, and a sewer pipe bazooka. The cartoon versions of the Turtles were here to stay, as a new comic series called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures began in August of that year, adapting the cartoon adventures and using their different colored outfits rather than their classic matching red outfits from the earlier comics. The show returned for Season 2 that fall, with 13 more episodes of mutant mayhem. While Eastman was more reserved about his feelings on the changes, Laird had more of an attitude of,
Does the phrase, "go suck a lemon," hold any meaning for you?
And has stated his dislike for the surfer language and pizza obsession. But it may have had something to do with Fred Wolf's lawsuit for half the royalties, claiming his animated series was responsible for the Turtles' massive popularity. Was it? Would the Turtles eventually have caught on as much without the colors, catchphrases, and penchant for pizza?
Face it, man, it's the only job we're qualified for.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Share your opinions in the comment section below.
And that is how they became the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And that's the history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 edition. Want more toy videos and can't wait until TMNT 89? Check out the most powerful Patreon in the universe! Patreon.com/MichaelMercy for over 200 exclusive videos consisting of reviews, roundtables, real talks, and toy history special features for as low as $2 a month. All that for the cost of a slice of pizza. Plus extra rewards for the higher levels, such as ad-free early access to videos like this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this first foray into the world of the Turtles. Press the thumb to be a chum, and to join the tribe, hit subscribe.
Cowabunga!
Good night, good luck, God bless, and don't let anyone steal your joy. Nerdmaste.
To be honest, I'm getting kind of bored with it. Hey, how about this? Yabba dabba!
Nah, it's just not